Hello everyone, my name is Prep Dad. I broke my leg, so I decided to play with YouTube for a little bit. I was watching some videos by Prepared Mind 101, and he was talking about a 5-pound survival challenge for weight of the bag. So I went ahead and built it while I was limping around on my crutches with said broken leg. So what I have here, this is the bag. All the goodies inside of it. Okay, and this is our little scale. Okay, go ahead and measure that out real quick. Yeah. Okay, came in a hair over at 5.24 pounds. Now, that does include the entire weight of the bag. He did not include the weight of the bag. So I'm going to, once I empty out all the contents, I'm going to show you the weight of the bag, and then we'll be below where we need to be. Okay. Lower you all down, because just doing this off my phone. Okay. So starting off first, I like everything all color coordinated. Red is your first aid and everything, because if you're in an emergency situation for your gear, chances are you're going to have to get to something to stop the bleeding first. So, have my first aid kit, I'll cover that in a minute, and then have my emergency whistle. There is a little whistle on this bag. It's not very loud, which is why I added the storm whistle. So that takes care of everything out of that pocket. Next is yellow, which is light or seamy. So I have a high-vis little, it's not reflective, but it's orange, for either A, if I was in an area where I thought there was hunting going on, or B, in an emergency, I can start being found. This is easy to put on, weighs nothing, universal size, fit all, good to go. So that's a high-vis. Next is a emergency headlamp, which obviously if I wanted to cut weight, I could take this out of the plastic, which would say weight. I just don't like the fact how easy it is to turn on. It's cool in emergency, but in my bag I don't need to accidentally turn to a stage and die. Which this does have white and red, and it does have flashing and SOS capability for it. But just a little tiny pencil. Super lightweight. Then I have my fire kit, which this is part 1. There's 2 parts to it, which we'll get into in a minute, and then I'll go over the contents of that. So in the main bag, which I have a titanium water bottle. I like these caps because it gives you a small way to drink out of, but then you can undo it and fill it up with the big everything. Titanium metal water bottle, boil with it if necessary. Main thing is just carrying water. So if I was out and about, basically this content of this kit, I wouldn't take this bag. But I would have this filled up with water. All the contents in this bag, I would throw in my other backpack that I like more, and have everything I need for any sort of emergency and or with children, because I have 5 kids. Next is a poncho, because you need shelter, and then also this poncho, it even shows you a little layout of it and everything. Has grommet holes and everything, so it's part of my shelter system. So we go shelter with that. Then the biggest item I have in here is my escape bivvy, because I am a big guy, 6'3", 6'4", and I can fit in here well enough to make it through the night. And everybody I'd be with, family-wise, if they were unprepared or whatever, I could put them in here without any problem. I could fit multiple kids in here, put my wife in here, good to go. So that's part of my shelter. Sleep under, sleep in, and my lightweight sleep on would be this picnic blanket. It's lightweight, it's small. It works. You clear out the leaves and everything, or clear out the sticks, fill the whole area with leaves again. You can put this down, mash it down some, fill it up with more leaves. Trash bag will work too. I just like having this because this gives me multiple uses with the family. If we're out and about, want to sit down, take lunch, take a break, I can put this down. So this is part of the shelter. So sleep on, okay, sleep in, sleep under. whole thing's held together by a ridgeline and everything. Now I've got 4 ultralight titanium stakes, which works out well. Yes, in an emergency I can make stakes, but think of this more like everybody's worked a 12-hour shift and you're just going to order dinner out. So instead of cooking. So that's why this is already preloaded and pre-set up. Now, do I know all my knots and everything for a ridgeline? Yes. Does everyone that is with me know all their knots for a ridgeline? No, but everyone knows how to work this setup I have here. So you use the S-hook to anchor the one side of the ridgeline. Bam. Your pressic loops are already tied and ready to go to secure your tarp to it. And then this little tiny figure 9, love these little guys, they make bigger ones and everything too, is real simple to operate and everything. You feed it through, wrap it around, tie it down, pull it on the other side of the tree, and you're good to go. So this whole little setup is my entire shelter system. I've got stakes ready to go, under, on, over, and then ridgeline to put it all together. So that's the entire shelter system taken care of. But very, very big fan of the Tom Brown, the 4 laws of going over things. So shelter, water, fire, food. So shelter, biggest priority. Water, second biggest priority. Fire, which with fire we're also working with. This is shelter. Shelter and water taken care of. Fire, working with my knife. Now my knife is just more like my fire. It's lightweight, it's dependable. I mean, it's been can't really see it very well, but it has been well loved and abused by me and my children. But nice 90-degree spine. Has a fire steel, so that's a fire starter. Right. Then I have a emergency backup access pack, little zipper bowl that I can undo, and that is a tinder inside of itself. So this whole thing together, I can at least get 1 fire, if not 2, without any problem. So that's that kit. That's part 1. Part 2 is the matches. Now, generally I always have a Zippo or a big lighter on me anyway. This little guy has everything in it. So I have some Vaseline soaked cotton balls, which Coal Cracker Bushcraft turns out he already did something similar to this. So he beat me to it, yay. But on the same page as him. So there's cotton balls dipped with Vaseline there. Not my favorite fire starter at all. I've got some homemade ones I'll go over later that are way better. Then I have some Typhoon Strike Anywhere matches. Or not Strike Anywhere, but Typhoon waterproof matches. I have a backup pick. A spare striker, other than the one that's out here for those. And then I have these fire strip rolls tapes. So they are about 6 inches long, which is about 2 minutes of burn time if they're set up like vertically like this. So I have 4 of these strips and everything. I can cut them down into smaller to get more fires and everything. Bottom line is it's all in one kit. That takes care of fire, so shelter, water, fire, and food. So food, it can be whatever you want. Regular bars, these are just some high calorie, not the best, just long shelf life bars with some electrolyte powder mixes and everything for kids. Or me, depending on what's going on. And then on top of that we have a shmog, multiple uses for the shmog, for a filter and everything. It's not a problem. Filter, and then I have a filter also uses sling. Uses many times as a sling, which goes over with what the first aid kit has. And then a buff, just a cotton buff that I can use for fire turn. It's got a little stretch to it and everything, or a filter, or hat, or neck wrap. Comes in handy a lot. So that's everything out of the bag. And the back weight empty is 0, 0. All right, come over weight empty is 0.85 or 0.82, which puts me well below the 5 pounds for everything. The only other thing I'm going to go over later is going to be the first aid kit, just because there's a lot going on with it. But there's a Mylar blanket here, which helps with the shelter. There's safety pins in here, which help with using the shamag as a triangle bandage, candle for another heat source to help keep people warm, and a bunch of other goodies. So, have a good one. And the main thing is never give up. Thank you.